who they were, and they were still
they
growing.
pressed through.
Right, they pushed through.
They pushed through.
But I will say this: my father is definitely a very traditional. You know, he's 75 this year. He's a traditional husband. Meaning, you know, he was an officer in the Air Force. When they had me and my brother, my mother became a housewife. He took care of the bills.
Right.
It was definitely, he was more traditional. Now my ex-husband, completely opposite from my father. Non-traditional. I was the breadwinner. I was the one that made the majority of the money, and it didn't work.
We married the same man? Oh my gosh! I feel like I'm your twin.
It was different type of male.
Because he felt some kind of way about you being the breadwinner, or
it was a combination, probably of that, but also he did not. I realized as I got married young, in my 20s. So before I really understood everything that was necessary for a successful partnership, and so I thought he would mature. You know, he'll grow up and he'll see that we have to pay bills, that we have to be striving toward, you know, retirement, financial stability. But then I realized he's never going to do that, and I had to decide: am I going to cut my losses at 35, or stay married to him because I had committed to him, and be unhappy forever?
Listen,
he was
how long were you married?
We were married for 8 years, but then I realized he was a drug addict. He didn't want to work. It was just a hot mess.
It is, because like she said, the difference between her dad and her husband.
It was way different.
Because I'm sure she wanted someone like her dad.
Well, now I do.
Now, because I'm sure it had to work. That's why I said it had to build up.
Yeah, it had to realize.
And that's why I said your mom's like, listen, right now I fight for this man because I made this, and they ain't going, starting over. But like your husband said, you have to love self first. Before people go out here and try to jump in marriages. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to love your husband. And then not only that, your husband, not your husband, your marriage isn't going to work because the two of you are coming together with different,
we weren't equally yoked. We didn't have the same base value.
Right, exactly.
But I thought that love would conquer all of that, but no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I'm telling you, you have to come to a middle to meet together to make your marriage work. Everybody has their own opinion, but you have to come together with your opinions, and then you all agree to disagree.
And even more important than that is the core has to be good. Because if the core doesn't start off good, you try to change it, it's a tough job to change.
And you can't.
That's true. What's your name? I'm sorry.
My name is Mark.
Mr. Mark. I'm sorry, but what you said is true. And then I kind of disagree with what you said in the beginning when you said, come together. This is what I'm saying. When you meet somebody, you know how everybody has their representative. Their representative is good, but then after the representative go away, you be like, who are you?
Right.
But even with that representative, the point though that I'm trying to express was good.
Exactly.
And we should all drink
Did you say the G word?
He said the G word. We got several drinks.
Did you get he said the G word?
Oh yeah, he said the G word
like many times.
And I'll use a different word here for being real. Being real. A lot of people aren't real.
Did you smell?
Well, that's the representative.
So real is the G word.
Yes.
Real is the G word.
And so, not to pick on you, right? But do you feel like in the beginning he sent his representative and you weren't aware of
because I just got out of a relationship and going from being friends and then dating and then living with each other, I got 3 totally different
Of course,
people.
because the representative, you fall in love with the representative.
Well, you're always going to meet the representative.
We started out as friends and you still got the representative?
We started out as friends. He was one of my closest friends. And then we just kind of like, well, we're best friends. Everybody says date your best friend, marry your best friend. So we were like, okay, we'll start dating. Start dating, but it's long distance.
So it's weekend representative.
Yeah, so it's weekend relationship. So then once I started working remote, I was like, well, I can work from anywhere.
Anyway.
I'm tired of driving 3 hours to Virginia Beach to see you every weekend. So I moved there, and I got the third version.
Yes, honey.
Of him. And the third version is the real him. And that's why I don't care what anybody says. I will never marry somebody without living with them first.
Yeah. Right.
Ever.
So y'all still best friends?
No,
Well,
we are no longer friends, and that's another thing. Do not date your friends.
Once
the relationship ends, then the friendship ends.
Absolutely.
What was his zodiac sign?
He was a Virgo, and I will never date another Virgo.
See, I love Virgo.
Never again. I'm a Taurus.
They're so serious.
Yeah.
Taurus is there. I have two sisters that's Taurus, and they're two different people.
Yeah.
One is a beginning Taurus, and one is an end. That end Taurus, she's something. I mean, well, I'm not gonna say end Taurus. She's in because my sister's in May, and then what's the?
I'm an April Taurus.
April. That's what the one in Georgia is. Now, me and her, woo, child, we can go at it. Right? You don't even think we sisters, but the one that's in May. She's sweet as pie. Them Taurus something else now, but not all of them. Not to say, because I'm a Scorpio. But I'm like, listen. But I'm glad you did that because I agree what you say. Now, even though you're not supposed, biblically, you're not supposed to live with.
Right. That's what I said.
But I agree with you. You have to
Religion-wise, people say don't do it, but I refuse, absolutely refuse. If I ever get engaged or whatever, I need to live with you to see the real you.
But wait a minute,
it's not just like me. It's not just for a weekend.
So you want to see the crust and
yes, I want to see.
Yes.
If you wake up, is the first thing you do you brush your teeth? Do you make your bed? Like, what do you do in the morning?
No, ma'am. It's the first thing you do after you use your bathroom. What do you do to sort of start your day and center yourself to start the day?
So what you're saying is you don't want it to last long.
What? So what was the deal
breaker? Because my point is,
I want to hear this. Why do you think that wouldn't last long?
Life is about living, and living doesn't happen in a day. Okay?
And I realize that.
My point though is, you just want it all at once.
No, I don't want it all at once, but I want to know what I'm getting myself into for the long run.
So you're gonna endure the rough stuff as you go, or you want to see it right up front?
No, not right up front. Like I want to build a solid foundation, but before I say I do, I need to know the good, the bad, and the ugly. And you will never see that unless you live with a person.
So you will give yourself hold and move in from Jump Street because you want to.
But with him, it wasn't with Jump Street because we have been friends for over a decade.
I get what he's saying. What he's saying is not considering your past relationship, who was your friend, but if you were to meet somebody new today or tomorrow and you were dating them and before you got married to him, he's saying you're going to live with that person through enough seasons for you to be able to determine whether or not that person is spouse material.
I have to.
So you will tell yourself out early.
Right, and you shouldn't. And I agree with him. That's what I was going to ask you.
But what do you mean selling out?
Well, she'll explain.
No.
I'm just going to have another
She wants to. No, let me tell you something. So what you're asking for, V, is a realistic preview of what life in marriage is going to be like.
Yes, that's what I need.
So,
you should just turn the TV on.
And so I understand what you're saying because in my profession, I try and give candidates a realistic job preview. Right? I want you to know what you're getting into before you sign on the dotted line to accept this offer of employment.
Right.
This is what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
I tell you your manager's personality, what your manager is going to expect, what things that other candidates have said to me in their exit interview.
Yes, that's what I mean.
To watch out for
You said
with this manager.
Yeah.
That's good information.
That's good information, right?
Absolutely.
You need to know coming into this job, you're going to be expected to not only contribute X, Y, and Z, but you're going to experience A, B, and C. Okay? And on certain days, before you get off the elevator, you're gonna need to pray for D, E, and F.
Yes, Lord. I know, girl.
So I agree with you. Living together. We lived together before we got married.
So was your concern more so personality traits, or how they handle disagreements, or hygiene, or
everything.
Conflict resolution, because
that's important.
I learned that
after you're married,
things he would say when we were friends wouldn't bother me. Like if he wasn't showing up for an event of mine or my birthday as my friend, I'm not gonna care.
Right.
But as my boyfriend, you feel like you don't want to show up for my birthday.
That's an issue.
That's an issue.
Right.
Like I need to know those in-depth things that you can't get when they're hiding the real them or their representative is front and center.
Because they walk out of their front door, and show up at your front door, two different people.
Yeah.
Right.
I got it.
But my thing is what you just said. When you said, if you're my friend and you don't show up in my front, that doesn't bother me.
Right.
However, if it's your man or it's an significant other, and that is the problem. Yeah. But
you okay?
said you need to live with them first. You don't need to live. You can see that when y'all dating.
That's true.
And that's why you don't need to move with them, because if you move with them, something drastic can happen.
That's right.
So you can find that out dating them.
You don't know who this person is at the midnight hour with a full moon.
That's right. Come on now.
Yeah.
And Nina. But they have a baby together now. And, a son. He's 5 years old now. But they're not friends like that anymore.
You okay?
That is so good. Everybody drink. Drink.
Gotta chew first.